Welcome to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I'm Tim O'Malley with Tim Prister of Irish Illustrated, John Brice of Football Scoop, and this is Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis, brought to you by the RV Manufactured Housing Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. Tim Prister, Notre Dame has come a long way from South Bend to its biennial House of Horrors, where a few championship dreams have gone to die, although the last two times they were here, the Irish came through with a victory to punch their ticket. What is the key to that today?
I think it starts with discipline. I think Notre Dame is the more disciplined football team, and they have been all year. USC has not been in the fourth quarter, which is what has been their problem. They haven't been able to close out. But, you know, and we've talked about this all week. I think Notre Dame is dialed in. Look, you got to be fundamentally sound. You got to win the turnover battle, or at least battle it, be even with it. No hands to the face penalties that negate big plays, etc. And I think that all comes down to the discipline. And I think we're all pretty confident as we stand here right now that Marcus Freeman's team is going to be locked in and ready to play quality football.
I normally like Notre Dame's chances in a close game against USC, but I don't think any Irish fan wants to see a close game today. What's the key to getting away and establishing the dominance? We think Notre Dame, if someone's running away with this, it can be the Irish.
Great question to you, and I didn't even ask you for that one, but that's the question I wanted to open with. And it's a fast start like last week against Army, but for entirely different reasons. Notre Dame hasn't been in a closely contested game in the fourth quarter in a really long time. USC's been in a bunch of them. USC has lost more than it's won, obviously, but it found a way to win across town against rival UCLA last week. You need to take USC's hope early in this game. You need to put USC in a hole early in this game for the same formula as a week ago, though. If you open on defense, get their offense off the field in a hurry and turn that into points. Notre Dame has been really good with a lot of its opening possessions. We saw it just be textbook a week ago. I think that's absolutely critical today. You don't want this USC team lingering into the fourth quarter with it in the back of their minds. We can ruin Notre Dame's season.
Offensively, I think we all believe Notre Dame will be able to run the ball today, but what is the key to establishing the pass? Riley Leonard, to run the ball for 4 quarters, Riley Leonard's going to have to hit some throws, and you mentioned they're going to see a lot of zone coverage today.
They will, and I think this is a game that Notre Dame's offense, again, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but as we've studied it throughout the week, I think it's a game where Notre Dame can win the time of possession. They should be able to run the football. Now, if you look at the numbers game by game, USC hasn't been gashed except by Michigan early in the season. That was a long time ago. But when you look at the development of Notre Dame's offense, I think they can run the football. You've got a 3-pronged attack doing that. We talked about the zone coverage. Riley Leonard should be able to thrive against that with a guy like Mitchell Evans. Mitchell Evans has to surpass his 4 catches as a single game high this year. So, I mean, again, Notre Dame has been balanced since Riley Leonard has started to put it together. And, they've been able to run the football. They've had 4 straight games of 200 yards rushing. I expect that again today. I don't want not to disrespect what USC has done defensively, because they definitely have improved under D'Anton Lynn, but I think this is a game where Notre Dame's offense can be balanced and they can control the football.
Defensively, John Brice, it was 24 games ago Notre Dame was out here where Caleb Williams and USC put 5 touchdowns on them. No team has put more than 3 offensive touchdowns on Al Golden since that day. We don't think more than 3 offensive touchdowns are being scored on the Irish now, and if you can get to that 28, 30 points of Notre Dame, you're safe. But what are some concerns, and what do you like about Notre Dame's defensive matchup here?
Yeah, I think 24 points is probably the magic number for Notre Dame, and I'm not saying I think USC scores 21 points, but if Notre Dame scores at least 24 points in this game, I fully expect the Irish to win. Jaden Maiava has added an element to the offense, but he's not overly accurate. And I talked with folks in the Notre Dame program this week. They felt they had a really dialed-in practice. They felt they had a very focused week of practice, and they feel like X Watts, no surprise, is poised for a big game today. This is a sunshine moment for him, so to speak, to have another national television audience. He's maybe not been in on a finalist for as many awards as what he was a year ago. That's criminal in and of itself. But I just think that defensively, it's Notre Dame keeping Maiava uncomfortable. I do think a quick out by the defense is important early in this game. You don't want any shred of that USC offense getting confidence, especially with a young quarterback who hasn't faced an opponent the ilk of Notre Dame. And then just one more quick thing on offense. Great points by both of you guys. I like Notre Dame's running, especially Jeremiah Love, to potentially suck in that zone that can give Riley Leonard a chance to maybe hit something over the top against the Trojans.
Tim Priester, 2 things are often true, and in this case I think it is. Notre Dame has not played a lot of great passing attacks. This is not a great passing attack, but it's a talented group of wide receivers and the best passing attack since Louisville. Now, Leonard Moore was a first-time starter in that game. Christian Gray did not play in that game. But it's those two, a cadre of safeties that can play ball when you're talking about Rod Hurd and Jordan Clark as well. How do you view that matchup?
Well, it's an above-average wide receiver core for USC. We've been joking all week about
not for USC, but among other people. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they've had great receiving cores in the past, but a lot of it has had to do with the fact that they've had a trigger man to get them the football as well. I don't see Jaden Maiava as a guy that's going to do that. Xavier Watts is somebody that I pegged early in the week to get a pick today. Maiava should have been intercepted 3 times by Nebraska. It was only once. His comment was, it was just me being me. If you come in here with that attitude against Notre Dame defense, they're going to show you what me being me is all about. So I think Notre Dame defensively has a good chance to expose a younger quarterback. He was experienced from last year, but that was at UNLV, not playing against Notre Dame.
Brice Young has been a game wrecker on special teams. I believe USC is going to try to fake a punt to slow down Notre Dame's pass rush a little, and they also have, not pass rush, punt rush. They have nothing to lose in this case, and Notre Dame has put plenty on tape the way they attack that. But Notre Dame is a bigger concern on special teams. The man used to call Money Mitch. Mitch Jeter. Notre Dame is 3 of 10 from field goals since he first injured his groin. That's the elephant in the room.
You want him to kick in a meaningful field goal today. You don't want him to be kicking a game-winning field goal in the fourth quarter. But if he can give you a field goal that maybe gives you a 17-7 lead in the first half, I think that's significant. Special teams have really been feast or famine for Notre Dame in recent weeks. They've done some phenomenal things from Brice Young and the other members of that punt coverage unit that are being so aggressive and getting back there and chasing. And you see guys being selfless that are taking on blocks, knowing that Brice Young is going to take on his block and be the guy that has the physical athleticism to try and block the punt. So you love the buy-in there. Notre Dame hasn't gotten a ton in its return game. Can this be one of those days? I think you bring up a great point about the potential for a fake punt, which also means it's that much more important for Notre Dame to win the field position battle. It's one thing for USC to fake a punt out at its own 40. It's another thing if James Rendell, on the times he does have to punt today, can drop them inside the 20s.
Picks to click other than Jeremiah Love. I joked about that. Is Mitchell Evans still the secondary key to the running game is Mitchell Evans?
I feel like I picked Mitchell Evans a bunch this year, but I do that today because of the matchup situation, what USC wants to do defensively. Xavier Watts on the defensive side of the ball, certainly. And I think Notre Dame's linebackers are going to they have to play well today. They have to run fit because Woody Marks is a really good football player.
That was going to be one of mine real quickly. I like Jack Kaiser. I like the matchup today for Jack Kaiser to maybe bait Jaden Maiava into something.
That's it for us pregame from the Coliseum. We'll be back postgame with more Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis brought to you by the RV Manufactured Housing Hall of Fame.